Good afternoon, viewers. This is another moment with David. Today we will be looking into something I believe it's positive. It's a good news for Nigeria, but we have to for it to be a full-blown news or a positive news for Nigeria, an opportunity that Nigerians and Nigerian government must explore appropriately and defend and protect. Is what I'll be talking about today. Is about our aviation industry, and I'll be giving some tip of advice or advice in regards to that. It's a good news that AIRPEACE is now flying London, and I hope that they will begin to fly other routes or other routes, whether from the American pronunciation or the British pronunciation, that they will be able to fly other routes to maybe going beyond UK and some other popular destinations, maybe in the US, maybe other European countries, that they can now begin to fly. And I believe, because from the information I've gathered, I've met few people who boarded it. I said, what was your experience with this airplane? They said, fantastic, but there seems to be a kind of imperialism that is likely going to attack this business. That is the issue of AIRPEACE. That is, the British government are not totally in support of it, and the federal government must stand firm to support this airline. Because I learned that the person told me that they went to the they were channeled to the wrong conveyor belt, but the Nigerians that were working in AIRPEACE, both in the airline, both inside the plane, and both at the deck table, that they were fantastic. They were professionals, and this kind of good news we must also laud it, as much as we are complaining about other aspects or sectors, or some group of Nigerians that are not doing well, whether in the diaspora or in the nation. While actually taking an important issue about this, or taking my time to talk about this, and I explore it, looked at everything. Several Nigerian airlines have been failing. They always try to explore international routes, but the foreign counterpart always frustrate them. And one of the reasons why I think the two major British airlines that fly Nigeria very well, and they are threatened by AIRPEACE, are the British Airways and the Virgin Atlantic, because these two people has exploited Nigerians a lot. They were just charging as much as £3,000, £2,000, £1,000, or 1,000 plus pounds, exploiting Nigerians. These are a huge amount of money. But if we have a brake dealer, which is a Nigerian owned AIRPEACE, and that can come on board and can subsidize for Nigerians, and can break down the price or the prices along the other routes and other channels. And I want Nigerian government to really support this business. You need to really sit down with the British government and say, look, if this AIRPEACE fails, if in any strategy you make it collapse, definitely we will not allow Virgin Atlantic to fly Nigeria any longer, because this guy AIRPEACE has come. Nigeria must have a sense of belief. This airline belongs to Nigerians, and I will also advise that AIRPEACE should also sell some of their shares to Nigerians. Yes, and I will also advise the Minister for Aviation, you don't need to create another airline, national airline. We don't need it. We don't have the record of knowing how to manage government-owned properties. So let the private sector, which AIRPEACE has taken a good step, let's give them all the legislative support. One of those support that I think Nigerians should be looking at, I think the federal government, the federal government should appoint some delegates, the Minister for Aviation, the Minister for Trade and Investment, Minister for Foreign Affairs, and some delegates in the Federal National Assembly should sit down and look at modalities and look at the areas that were failed before. Look at how other airlines that are trying to apply this route, how they fail, why they failed, and all those things. Examine all those things, correct them internally, and sit down with the British government, sit down with those the British foreign ministers, and begin to make them understand that, look, you cannot monopolize this industry. You cannot, because these guys are making millions and chunks of millions of pounds out of this. So let them have an understanding that we are not sending you out, but you need to allow our own individuals airline to come and play. It's just trying to come and take 1/3 of the share. So when we do that, this will strengthen. This is one of the reasons why Nigeria needs to have a trade policy. And I think the Minister for Trade and Investment, I don't know whether she's competent and knowledgeable enough to know that, because you need somebody who understands political economy to handle these sectors and international business, to understand that we must have a trade policy. this trade policy will begin to guide how businesses are done, because I believe that AIRPEACE is going to really help Nigeria, and it's another way that Nigeria can generate internal revenue, foreign FX. Because if we can supply this aviation fuel from Dangote refinery or any Nigerian refinery that is producing at a low cost, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. The federal government must sit down with Dangote refinery. There must be a strategy that will ensure that there's a steady supply of aviation fuel, jet fuel, or whatever it is being called, at a discount rate to AIRPEACE, so that AIRPEACE can render cheaper services to Nigerians. You know, one of those things that have made the Chinese government grow very well in the EV industry is because the federal government of China has given a lot of subsidies so that they can compete favorably with their international counterparts. So Nigeria can do this in the aspect of AIRPEACE. I will be talking in the near future about some other industries that Nigeria can explore, but it's a good news that AIRPEACE is coming on board, and we must give it every legislative support, every moral support, and there must be an AIRPEACE too. You have a role to play. You need to begin to employ a lot of Nigerians. Don't make it an Igbo industry. I know that you have not actually done that, but this is another thing that I've read from other articles that people might be saying that, look, don't make it. It's a Nigeria, make it a Nigeria, so that we can get a full support from all the section of Nigeria. And I will advise again that the federal and the Minister for Aviation, don't even say you want to build any national carrier. We don't need it. We don't have the capacity. We can't afford to start investing in that. We need to begin to learn to privatize a lot of our sectors so that they can compete favorably, so that they can thrive, so that they can create more jobs. The job of the government is not to go into business. The job of the government is to regulate, create policy, and create an enabling environment. These are the corporate, and protect those businesses. So government must stand firm to protect this particular one, like I've said earlier on, so that this AIRPEACE can stand the test of time and can be a sustainable business that will help with creating more Nigerian jobs, both in Nigeria and outside, and will also create an opportunity for other smaller airlines to grow and begin to explore other routes. And government should support this AIRPEACE, like I'm saying, very well, legislatively, and give every subsidy that it needs. If you have to give them some tax rebates so that they can employ more Nigerians, so that they can give affordable services, so that Nigeria can now be traveling at a cheaper cost. And with that, and I'm sure that other businesses will begin, other indigenous businesses in other sectors will begin to come up and will begin to grow. This is what I have to say regarding this today, and I'm optimistic that if the federal government and the state government, well, not state government, but the state governors can sit down, I mean the whole 36 governors, including the FCT minister, can sit down and look at how can we really give this government support in terms of even our what I call our airport. There should be a kind of discount for all these indigenous airlines. Like if other foreign airlines are paying £100 or $100 for parking or landing in our airports, then AIRPEACE should be giving like $65 so that it can charge cheaper. Those are factors, those are things that I think government can do, and you have to make it clear to the British government once again that, look, if this business fail, we will not allow your airline to fly. With that, you are also, and you should also tell them that there are other British businesses that we have allowed them to flourish. We have not stiffened them, we have not frustrated them. So this is our own foreign direct investment. Help us support it if you really have the interest of Nigeria. And we need somebody who is highly diplomatic, somebody who is well nourished with information of diplomacy that can help them understand that, look, you see why French is failing. Greed, monopolistic ideology, imperialistic ideology. You need to let the British government understand that don't let Nigeria begin to have a feel of this. So with this, they should be ready to take they've exploited us too much. So I know it's going to be difficult for them to say to stop this exploitation, but Nigeria government must stand firm behind AIRPEACE. And once again, as I'm rounding up, I must say congratulations to Nigerians, and I must say congratulations to AIRPEACE. Thank you very much, and God bless you. You watch out for my next episode. Thank you.